Hello everybody, this is Gemini Jets 1975 coming at you with another video today. This time I will be doing a Toronto Pearson airport update. And before I get started, I do have a few special guests. I'm going to introduce them really quick. We have Gatwick Hero, please say hello.
Hi.
We have Aviation JXXX, please say hello.
Hello, everybody.
We have Joel Tennant Planes, please say hello.
Hello.
We have Aviation Winnipeg, please say hello.
Hello.
And we have Sultan A340, please say hello. Alright, and before I get started, I'm going to mute these guys and then I have a couple shout outs and then we'll start with the video. Alright. Alright guys, so I want to give a huge shout out to Joel Tennant Planes. He asked to have a shout out, so I'm doing that for him. And then also we have PH Aviation 12. Huge shout out to him, and go subscribe to these guys. They're trying to get to subscriber milestones, so please give them some help and go check out their channels and subscribe. Alright guys, so let me give you an overview of the airport. This is the Air Canada Rouge, Air Transat and WestJet terminal, and then over here is the American Airlines terminal. There's American, Delta, and United, and then this is the international carriers. So go ahead and get started here, and go ahead and zoom in just a tad. Alright, so first, back there in the back we have the WestJet 763, which just arrived in from London as flight 4. Oops, let me go ahead and fix something here. I usually pull up the runway, but I didn't feel like doing that this time. Okay, so right here we have the WestJet 738 operating as flight 702, just arrived in from Vancouver. Then we have the WestJet 737-700 operating as flight 1245, just arrived in from Tampa. And then we have the Encore Dash 8 Q400 operating as flight 3406, will be departing for Fredericton. Okay, now we're going to move on to Air Canada. So we have the Air Canada 777-300 operating as flight 872, will be departing for Frankfurt. Then we have the A330 operating as flight 846, will be departing for Munich. The Air Canada 787-8, oh here we go, operating as flight 84, will be departing for Tel Aviv. Then we have the Air Canada 777-200 LR operating as flight 16, just arrived in from Hong Kong. Okay, we have the Air Canada A319 operating as flight 266, just arrived in from Winnipeg. Then we have the Air Canada Rouge A319 operating as flight 1623, just arrived in from Fort Lauderdale. Alright, the Air Canada E190 operating as flight 667, just arrived in from St. John's. The Air Canada Rouge A319 operating as flight 1623, just arrived in from Fort Lauderdale. Alright, right here, the Air Canada A320 operating as flight 140, arrived in from Calgary. The Air Canada A321 operating as flight 1704, will be departing for Deer Lake. Alright, right here, the Air Canada Beach 1900, Beechcraft 1900, sorry, operating as flight 7290, just arrived in from Rochester. Then we have the Air Canada Dash 8 Q400 operating as flight 8538, just arrived in from Thunder Bay. And unfortunately I did not get a flight for the CRJ 705, so we will send him to Austin. I know they don't fly that there anymore, but I don't care. Alright, right here is the Air Transat A310. Operating as flight 249, just arrived in from Barcelona. And then the 738 Air Transat operating as flight 844 will be departing for Puerto Plata. Alright, over here to the American departures. We have, and arrivals, we have the United A320. The United A320 operating as flight 228, just arrived in from Chicago. And then the United CRJ 700 operating as flight 4539 will be departing for Denver. Okay, Delta 717. Double check here. Okay. The Delta 717 operating as flight 2320 will be departing for Atlanta. Excuse me. Then the Delta A319 operating as flight 2797 just arrived in from Salt Lake City. Oh gosh, excuse me. Alright, the American CRJ 700 operating as flight 3094 will be departing for Chicago O'Hare. Then we have the American E175 operating as flight 4407 just arrived in from Charlotte. And then the American A319 operating as flight 2654 just arrived in from LAX. Okay, right up here is the Delta CRJ 200, or I'm sorry, 700, excuse me, operating as flight 5390, arrived in from Detroit. And then the CRJ 900, operating as flight 4126, will be departing for New York's JFK. Alright, that does it for the U.S. Arrivals and departures. Now, right back there is the Lufthansa 744, and he is operating flight 471 and will be departing for Frankfurt. Right here, the British Airways 777-200 operating as flight 99 arrived in from London. And then the Cathay Pacific 777-300 operating as flight 825 will be departing for Hong Kong. The Aer Lingus A330 operating as flight 129 arrived in from Dublin. The Alitalia A330 operating as flight 650 arrived in from Rome. Okay, right here the Copa 738 operating as flight 471 as well will be departing for Panama City. And then last but not least, we have the Icelandair 752 Hekla Aurora operating as flight 603 will arrived in from Reykjavik. And I actually almost forgot one. The Air Canada Rouge 763 operating as flight 1901 just arrived in from Athens and is taxiing to the gate. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching as always. Please subscribe to my special guest. Also, if you are interested in joining an airport alliance, please visit www.globalaa.weebly.com. And thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe as always. And I will see you guys in the next video.